make sure I see Matt and Jesse nearby. So Matt, if you're nearby, just make us aware. All right, well, hello everyone. Welcome. The speaker's portion of today's memorial is going to begin now. Sorry, this is new material, I'm not used to it. So my name is Seth Margolis. Becky asked that I facilitate this portion of the day, and I'm honored to do so. There are 9 speakers. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, there it is, right?
Okay, thanks. There are 9 speakers, and I'll be starting us off. For those of you who don't know, I'm a psychologist, and I can only assume Becky thought it would be a good idea to have a shrink up here as we all pour our hearts out, you know, just in case. So I agreed, but I actually don't know how helpful I'll really be because Mike's loss cuts really deep. Mike entered my life when I was 13 years old. We met at a Jiker show at a club called 7 Willow Street in Portchester. Jake, their guitarist, and I used to skate together at this shop called Sports Boutique, or Henry's. And I thought that Jiker was awesome. I introduced the band that night at Jake's request, and Mike approached me afterward explaining that he was Shane's cousin. Shane was Jiker's singer, so naturally I was very impressed. I loved Mike instantly. We were fast friends. We continued hanging out at shows, but my life soon got more complicated and I was sent to boarding school. Not the kind that preps you for college, the other kind. I was scared. But as luck would have it, and to my surprise, Mike was a student there. That's not a surprise when you know what kind of school it was. I didn't know it. It was a pleasant surprise. Anyway. Mike became my protector. The brother I never had. Eric Schneiderman and Brian Kennedy, who's not here, were also students at the school, and together we formed the band Pegleg. Pegleg eventually morphed into Chokeslam, and along the way we were joined by new members and brothers, Doug, Jay, Rob, Dan, and Tim. We remained active in the hardcore scene through the time I finished high school. I met many of you during that time, and those years and our relationships were formative for me. As the years passed, I lost touch with many of you, and for that I'm genuinely sorry. Thankfully, even though we took different paths, I never lost touch with Mike. In fact, Mike's the reason I met my wife, Chen. Mike and I were driving into the city for a mutual friend's birthday, but he had to pee, and he made me get off the highway. We parked in front of this random restaurant where my future wife was working, and while he used the bathroom, she and I got to talking. Now 20 years later, we have 2 beautiful daughters. I never missed an opportunity to share news about their lives with Mike. After all, his tiny bladder is the reason they're here. He was proud of them, proud of us. I grew to admire this about Mike. He was so proud of everyone he loved. And he loved a lot of people. You know, you're all here. Whether because of a band that reunited, new ones that started, a pizza shop, or other local businesses that opened and were thriving. Other new chapters, marriages, kids, jobs, resurgences of local hardcore scenes. He was proudest of Becky, the love of his life, and his real best friend. Psychologists should know that you should have tissues up here. Do you have tissues? Could I have a tissue?
Becky has tissues.
This is okay. Save your tissue. So the thing I was proudest of when it came to Mike is that he was always authentically himself. There's this quote by Oscar Wilde, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." Well, Mike embodied that more than most. Luckily, everyone enjoyed who Mike was. Even when he was loud, obnoxious, or inappropriate, which was often, people love Mike. No one more than Becky, though. And I must say that Becky made Mike more authentic, more of who he always was. The coolest, smartest, funniest, most interesting, caring, and loyal person I've known. I had the privilege of having Mike in my life for 30 years. Being friends with Mike made me cooler, smarter, funnier, and more interesting. Anytime he made me aware of something new, it was exactly what I needed. I hate that he's gone. The world is less interesting and fun now. I'm sad that I lost my brother. I'm heartbroken for Becky. But I'm grateful that he touched all of our lives. He remains central to who I was, who I am, and who I'm becoming. I trust that's true of us all. Thank you, Mike. I love you and I miss you. And now I'm going to say some Hebrew. Zichrono livracha, hamakom yinechem etchem b'tok she'ar Abelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim, which loosely means, may his memory be a blessing, and may you find comfort among your fellow mourners. Thank you all. So next, we'll be hearing from other friends and family, and it's my honor to call up our host and Mike's childhood friend, Matt DeJesu.
First of all, thank everybody for coming. This is my home. Everybody here, as long as you're family and friends with Mike, you're always welcome here. He meant the world to me for 35 plus years, and not a single day will go by that I do not think about it. I wrote a speech out like Seth, but unfortunately there was a lot of inappropriate stuff there. Do it! A ton of inappropriate stuff. I will say...
Tell us later.
A funny story about Mike was, I think I was about 13, 14. He was walking down the street with a muffler over his shoulder. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it's my buddy Tetanus. This is before the internet. I had to go home and ask my mom what tetanus was. And I said, my friend Mike was carrying this muffler he called tetanus. And instantly she was like, maybe we should go to the doctor. Mike will always be one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. He always made me laugh. Anytime I was down and out, he brought me up, which I know he did for just about everybody here. He was the most loyal, just amazing friend that I'll never forget. Becky is, I can't even go on and on about what an amazing person she is. She made Mike really change. And for the better. I'm so thankful for you, Becky. I'm so thankful for everything. I'm thankful for this. Guys, this is all Becky's doing, this whole party. There were people that helped out, but this is all Becky.
Woo!
And like, one last thing, because I want to really keep it short, because I can go on for days. Mike really went out on a high note. Over the last year, Mike was so happy, and more happy than I've ever seen him in a really long time. He got the band back together, which thank you guys. Like, that meant the world to him. He started a new band that he was so pumped on. And then he had this whole crew of young guys that were starting new bands locally, Jenna and Elio. Like, he would not stop talking about you guys every single day. And realistically, it was like, he was so happy. And I know he's looking down. I know he's happy we're all together. And thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Our next speaker is another dear friend of Mike's, a badass guitarist, and helpful to call in a pinch if you need a good lawyer. Samir Nath.
Thank you everybody for coming out first and foremost. Mike, I met Mike as Mike Pegleg, incidentally. Where's standing right in front of me, sitting right in front of me. I'm not 100% sure where I met him. It was either when I was sneaking him beers when he was like 16 or 17 at the Lowdown. I was only like, I don't know, maybe 22. Or it might have been at the benefit show. Either way, Mike had this energy about him. He was, I feel like Seth said it all, but I'm going to repeat a lot of these things. He was hilarious. He was quick-witted. I'll tell you guys a story about Mike's quick wit in a little bit. He was the type of person that brought other people together like the hub in a wheel to which all the spokes are attached. And the proof is right here. It's everybody here. Mike had 1,000 interests and is as attention deficit as I am. He was like the only guy that I could talk to about. I could go from Conan the Barbarian to Bloodsucking Freaks to Buddhist philosophy to hardcore to Dungeons and Dragons to World of Warcraft. Sorry, Becky, I stole like hundreds of hours of your husband's life with World of Warcraft. Yeah. So I'm sorry about that. But Mike was always, a real interesting and interested guy. Always wanted to know what I was doing. Always cared. Always gave a shit. Like, that's so important to have a friend. Even if you take different paths. I was a cop for a while. Now I sue the cops, but I was a cop for a while. And Mike is the farthest thing from law enforcement that you can imagine. Mike would check in with me every week, see how I was doing. Kept me, just when you get a different life perspective in a job like that, it's good to have a friend like Mike to remind you of who you are. Moving along, I always kept in touch with Mike, and Mike was very special to me. Limited edition, one of a kind. There's no other Mike. There's no one like him. The other day, I saw some stupid movie. My first instinct, and this is right after he passed away, my first instinct was to text Mike. Fucking sorry to curse. It fucking hit me in the chest. So many times it just hits me in the chest. Because I love him. I love Mike. It's hard for me to even talk about him in the past tense. When I have my thoughts to myself and I'm thinking about Mike, they're still in the present tense. I'm like, I might need one of them tissues. And Becky, he loves you. I won't say he loved you. I'll tell you, he loves you. And he loves all of us here. Just give me a second. All right. Mike was the best student. Mike was the best student. I love him. I'm always gonna love him. We're all always gonna love him. He's a huge part of all of us. Am I close to my 2 minutes? Because I can go for
Oh my
hours.
gosh.
All right. I wore this shirt. I meant to bring this up before. I wore this shirt in honor of Mike. I saw the dress code. It was at the show. There's pictures up there of him in the Gravedigger shirt. I was wearing this shirt. And I went up to Mike and I was like, Mike, I feel like the hardcore scene. I was like, I feel like the hardcore scene needs more Hawaiian shirts. And Mike looks at me and he's like, yeah, it does. You know, Mike had the best scratchy voice, like, out of everybody. And now I'm going to tell you a story about Mike's quick wit and scratchy voice, and I'm going to get out of here. So, when we were kids, I don't know, he was maybe 21. We're by 7-Eleven. This is way before Becky. There are these two cute girls at right by 7-Eleven, and he walks up, and I swear, he had the same, like, beard, like, even when he was a kid, and he had the same voice, like, I'm pretty sure he was born with that voice. He walks up to these girls, and I don't exactly hear what he's saying. One of the girls is like, ew, what are you, like, 30? I'm like, no, 40. Without taking a breath, I love Mike. I love all of you guys for coming out, Becky. Anything you need, anytime. Thank you, everybody.
That was beautiful, sweetheart. Okay, so we're now going to hear from the collage artist responsible for the beautiful photo montages that are on display today.
Woo!
And another lifelong friend of Mike's, Jesse Anderson.
Yeah.
I hate public speaking, so I didn't realize it was going to be like this. So I've met Mike at the boarding school. I didn't go there. My brother did. So one of the first times I met Mike was through music. They were in a band from back in the day, 16, 17 years old, and it was really hard. I've known Mike for so long. Through the bands, he's always been there. I have so many stories about Mike, but most of them I can't tell. I can't. I'm sorry, Steve. You did good. I can't. Mike was, like everyone said, one of a kind. And the thing I'm going to miss most about Mike was all the hiking and walks we used to take. I would get out of work early and I would go to Mount Vernon and pick him up. And we would hang out until Becky got home, because she got out of work at a normal time. And me and Mike would just talk and hang out on the roof, smoking cigarettes, just waiting for Becky. I'm gonna miss all of our adventures. And I'm so thankful for everyone who had sent me photos, because I got to learn Mike in a different way. Tara and everyone else who had sent me photos. I knew Trisha. I worked with Mike and Trisha at the flower shop. It's just so much. Okay. So I love you, Becky, and Mike. Okay, thank you.
Can I just ask that whenever anyone here feels the impulse to text Mike something or tell Mike something, because I think we're all having that experience, can we just commit to each other that we're going to do that with one of the other people who are here, or someone else who can't be here who is having that same exact experience? Because I think we're all having that exact experience. Feel free to text me too. It's been made publicly available. Thankfully, much of the pictures that were submitted to Jesse were not made publicly available. But none of us can ever run for public office. Okay, so next, we're going to hear from one of my favorite people, Mike's dear friend, Allison Abris.
Something. Whatever. Because a lot of it is like what people have already said. Because he was so special. And for 25 plus years, I've had the honor and pleasure of calling him my brother. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I usually project much better than this. This is difficult. So for the past 25 plus years, I've had the honor of calling him my brother, and I'm so thankful for that. I don't remember exactly when I met him, in the early 2000s, definitely at Castle Heights. It's definitely at Castle Heights. But I'm so thankful for that day. I too have many stories that I'm not going to repeat here in front of people. A lot of you know them, you were present for a lot of them. A lot of us don't remember some things, but we've been reminding each other, which has been kind of nice. I love you, Eric, very much. So that being said, this is turning into a mess. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I had asked him, probably one of the first times we hung out, why did they call you Herpes? What's the deal? What's going on here? And he's like, people say I spread. And I kind of think that's evident by what is here right now, by all of the people that he loved. He loved so many people, genuinely loved every single person standing here. There's so many different walks of life, and that's fucking incredible. That is incredible. It speaks volumes of his character and how he was, and he was just always happy. So, and in the past year, I'm gonna repeat people. The past year, he's been extra, and it was so nice. He exuded that when you saw him and texted him. I'm having the issues too of the whole texting situation. It's fucked up. We loved many of the same things, and he taught me more about the things I loved, which was amazing. And I'm sure he taught a lot of you more things about the things that you love too, because he was a compendium of all sorts of fucking knowledge. It was so amazing and beautiful. Becky, I love you. You're my sister. You need anything. He loves you so much. You too. Not many people love each other like that. It's very special. And you made each other better in the best of ways. And you were so lucky to have him. And Seth spoke in Hebrew, and that really got me. He had his whole Jew crew. He had the Jew crew. I think everybody's here, and that's awesome. You let us know all the time. We're gonna keep it PC though. Thank you for being in his life, and you came into it at the perfect time, and it's just, you're the best. You're the best. And Ellie loves you, and you're doing so good by her, and Mike is so proud of you. You're crushing it.
Woo!
You're doing it,
Yeah.
girl. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Pat, for hosting all of us and allowing us to be here. Becky, thank you. Thank everybody, and yeah, thank you.
Do you need a hand?
No, we're all right.
Okay.
I try for this Sweetheart.
I've learned so
Take a
much
quick ramble.
about Mike, and they don't know how well he fit into our family. Lots of great. My driver is here. I gotta go see her. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Sorry.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
It was nice to
Wouldn't
meet you.
have
I'm
missed
not
it.
leaving. You're not sure.
Looks like if anyone wants to, Allison mentioned our cat Ellie, which shout out Allison for being really helpful with cat stuff lately. Ellie's on the back of Shannon and Dan's shirts if anyone wants to see what she looks like.
Okay. Allison, that was beautiful. Thank you. Gary Muttley, another of Mike's chosen brothers, member of Mickey's crew in 9-1 War, will be our next speaker.
Yeah, we're not beating up Eric today. There's plenty of picture evidence of this. So I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm so terrible at these things. I'm used to being up here with an instrument. It saves me. I'm gonna throw some names out there, and we'll see how long you guys know Mike based on some of these names. Okay. I mean, the obvious is like Mike Pegleg, Mike Chokeslam. Then there's like Telly Savalas, Emperor Hirohito, Mike versus Laundry, which I forgot about. If you've been around on the internet for a while, you know some of these names because they're associated with a certain character. And if you were on the hardcore website message board, a couple of you were, or like Cage Kennels, or even later on with like baseball. You know, Mike was very active with a lot of that stuff, and it got kind of crazy at times, as some of us know. The thing with Mike is that, as has been said before, he brought a lot of people together in different ways. So many of us know each other through music, and that was Mike's thing more than anything. Especially, you know, we know it being in bands with him. You know, and a lot of people just know him as the guy that smokes a lot, has that voice. But if you look at his lyrics, like once you get past like, I want to sit on my couch and I won't leave my room, you'll get some of the stuff, and especially later on as he was doing the stuff with Human Trainwreck, like deep down in there's like layers to his lyrics. Like on the surface is just crazy bullshit from this guy that does a lot of drugs. But if you dig into it, like even with some of the Mickey's Crew stuff like Barcode, but then the Trainwreck stuff too, like there were layers and there were deeper things there, and some of it was introspective. So it just shows like there were different layers to Mike besides just, hey, I like to smoke weed. So you know, but that was the thing, like, and it was talked about a little bit before about how Mike was bringing different people together, like a lot of us older guys that were around back in the day, and then a lot of the newer crowd, also the younger crowd. He brought all of us together through music, and that was what binds us together, like all the Mickey's Crew guys, the Trainwreck guys, you know, going back Chokeslam, Pegleg, like. And even when Mike was booking shows, like doing stuff at the Lowdown and things like that was always kind of the glue for a lot of us. That's how a lot of us here know each other. And whether we realize it or not, Becky met Mike at one of my birthday shows at the Pyramid. We have all those things connecting us through music. And that's an important thing. And like the last conversation that I ever had with Mike a couple of hours before he took that bike ride, he was talking about how happy he was that Mickey's Crew had some new music, Trainwreck had some new music. That was, you know, that was the lifeblood for him. That's what he loved more than anything, and he was so happy. And it's just a shame that as Mike developed more and was able to develop those different layers, it's like, it's just a shame that we don't We're not going to have that now. And it's always, what would we have gotten? Maybe a couple more songs about drugs, but probably some other deeper stuff too. So I'll leave you guys with this, because if you know Mike, you've probably heard him use this word a lot, and my girlfriend Tara back there had brought this up to me, and then I really thought about it and got into it. Mike was always talking about artisanal. Like it was just a word, and he was just like, yeah, it's artisanal. That new song, it's artisanal. Does he even know what he's talking about? He doesn't care. But then I looked up the definition of artisanal, and it mentions, the smart thing, right? Items typically produced in limited quantities with a high emphasis on quality, which kind of applies to Mike. We're gonna miss him. There's plenty of stories that we can't tell. There's plenty of stories that a lot of you guys have been there for. He's always gonna hold a special place for us, especially for the Mickey's Crew guys, for the Trainwreck guys. And it's just sad that we've lost him. And thank all of you guys for coming out and celebrating him. Love you, Mike.
Thank you, Gary. I will say, his lyrics had depth even back in the days of Chokeslam. He once approached me at primetime where we practiced, and he said, I just wrote a love song about a breakup with a girlfriend that I just had. And I said, that's great. What's it called? And he says, it's called Kill Yourself. Moving along. So now I have the privilege of a full circle moment in my life. Though I can't introduce Stryker today, it is my honor to welcome their singer and Mike's cousin, Shane Mednick.
Woo!
Whoa. Once upon a time, Mike was my little cousin, and then the evolution came, and he's my cousin, Shane, so it was an honor to become his cousin. And introductions and so forth. Losing him so suddenly is super fucking sad. But here we are, together to celebrate him. Nothing indicates a life well lived more than the friends you've collected. And looking around, this is proof. And if Mike left anything behind, that we can all learn from him and put to everyday use in his honor, it's to be all in. All in. Mike was all in since he was a little kid in the front row of Jiker shows. All in. Mike was all in on his own musical projects. All in. Mike was all in to his commitment to Becky and their new record label, Memory Loss Records! He was all in. And most importantly, most recently, he was all in on this community and this Westchester fucking music scene. That I was so happy to see how it has grown since the early 90s, and it evolved, and Mike was such a big part of it, and I love to be still part of it and know all of you and all fucking everybody. So everybody, be like Mike and be all in all the time for those who can't, okay?
You're tall. We now welcome Mike's uncle, Babe McAuley.
Oh, baby, look. Down there, somewhere.
Thank you. I didn't know I'd be up here talking. I'm going to be quicker than everybody because I'll be breaking down in about 3 seconds. It's Mike's cousin.
Also known as Little Tara.
Like a lot of things I heard so far remind me of times with Mike and my sister when he was growing up. There's a picture over there when my last game in college. I wasn't even a year old, and I got to hold him. And then, over the years, I just really wish I'd spent more time with him. He was a great guy, like everybody said. And Becky, you were the greatest thing that ever happened to him. Thank God for you and your friends and your family and our family. So let's all think of Mike as he was, a great guy. And I think that's all I got to say. Thank you very much.
Love you, babe. I don't know why he didn't know he was speaking. We'll talk later.
Thanks, babe. It's hard to imagine him as a little kid with like razor blades in his throat. Blonde hair. A blonde bowl cut. He was adorable. He remained adorable.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, so now I'd like you all to put your hands together for our headliner, your friend, Mike's wife, Becky McAuley.
Woo!
I have to bring it down. Hello. Thank you. I think you all already know me. I'm Becky McAuley. And I think we learned a couple weeks ago that it's dangerous to give me a microphone. So I might go over the 2-minute limit by like a lot, even though I myself set that, but rules are made to be broken, Poison Idea style. Also, Mike was never that successful at getting me to stop talking either, so. Sorry, I always say that. Oh, I got you back. I always say the worst things when somebody's about to take a sip of a drink, but Eric got me earlier today and water came out of my nose, and now I got you. So, I tried to clean up my language in the young years, but I think that cat is left in the yard. I wanted to thank everybody who's been a part of this meaningful day. First and foremost, Matt, for hosting us.
Woo!
Seth, for coming down and emceeing this portion of the day, and for suggesting the idea of speakers in the first place. This was all originally just going to be a free-form day of being together, so thank you for adding this element, the key element. Carrie and Allison, CC Sabathia and Andy Pettit of the 40-person roster, keeping me and Ellie alive for something that's actually still a surprise that I can't say what I'm going to thank them for, but you'll find out after. Yeah. Jesse primarily, but also Eric Terrapuno for the photo collage. Gary Tara for poster materials.
Woo!
Yeah. Little Tara, I think, came up with Dress Like Mike. We really have a lot of Taras. All my Taras. Yeah. Babe and Shannon helped figure out parking. My parents helped figure out a lot of stuff. All of our families, everyone who traveled to be here, including some of our youngest and oldest guests, aka my niece Emmy, my grandmother Jean, Dan coming through with the PA, and so many more of you for holding me up the last few weeks, which I guess has now been like a month and a half. Mike really left me with the best group, and I'm so lucky to have all of you. So it's been hard adjusting to our smaller household, where we already decreased in numbers when our cat Goose died in 2022. I often say to Ellie that it's just us now. I'm not sure she understands. But I mean, the reason it's so hard is precisely because Mike and I had 18 years of impossibly good times together. You would not believe the amount of laughter constantly flowing from our home. As Mike posted for my birthday earlier this year, the thing you have to understand about me and Becky is that when we're together at home, we're pretty much always laughing. That is about as good as it gets as far as I'm concerned.
We had so many inside jokes, references, fictional characters, fake words and songs, terminology, names and narratives for things and people in our neighborhood. Shout out to the Walls of Fleetwood. I know there's some people today who lived or live now in the Walls of Fleetwood. Which shout out to Chris Wynn for naming the Walls of Fleetwood. Chris Wynn is not here today. We love him dearly. Some of you are representing in effect. Yes. Yeah, Holly's got it. Or wait, John, it's funny you guys got it in effect. Yeah. I would do these highlights presentations at the end of the year in Google Slides, which is why I had to buy more storage. But as I was going back through some of my notes from the year prior, I turned out to be laughing so hard at some of his quotes that it was hard to wait until the surprise presentation to tell him what was so funny. And yeah, after I did this probably 4 or 5 years, on New Year's Eve, I think he knew it was coming, why I was frantically at my computer, but it was a good time. But speaking of surprises, Mike also pulled off an epic surprise party for me in 2011. I know there's a number of people in the house who were there that day. He had to hide Lynn and Terry's car, so shout out to you both for that. He also tried to surprise me with our cats, Ellie and Goose, in 2008. He was like, I have a surprise for you. And I was like, is it a cat? He was like, no. And then later he was like, it's actually 2 cats. Yes. And since I love lists almost as much as I love Mike or cats, I've also been trying to compile the list of the approximately top 50 things he'd like to make fun of me about, such as making lists, offering multiple food options to visitors, especially popsicle and seltzer flavors, threatening to write a letter about something, how I can never freestyle without laughing, or do much about anything without laughing, being underfoot in the kitchen like a cat, always doing yoga in his path, which, to be fair, we lived in a one-bedroom apartment. There's not many options. How many minutes I could go without talking? Not many. Never doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Sorry, everyone I work with who's here. And never paying attention to the actual Yankees or Knicks score, just if John Sterling was singing or something, which I hope Mike and John Sterling are somewhere chopping it up right now.
Aww.
Yeah. Despite all these aspersions, he was my audience, he was my emissary, he was my agent, my creative partner, my true love and forever love, and I was incredibly lucky to have that for 18 years. So one thing that reassures me is I don't think Mike died with a lot of regrets. I think everyone knew how much he loved them. He would relentlessly hype his friends' bands and businesses. First we saw it with Matt and LaRosa, and then more recently with Media Blitz Music Studios with God's favorite, his favorite, our young favorites. Yeah, which I love that the 30s is young to us now. He was good at keeping in touch with people and making plans for us. All I had to do was show up, and I don't think he left that much unsaid. How many people did I hear him say, I love you, homie, too, on a regular basis? And that and how you livin' on and off in various eras. So, in the spirit of Mike, I would say, talk to people now. Say I love you now. Luckily, Mike and I said I love you 20 times a day, even when he was going to CVS or switch the laundry or whatever. Which is probably excessive, but I'm glad we packed it into the years we had. But yeah, don't leave people on red. Don't leave things left unsaid, since we never know what's going to happen to any of us or when it's going to be too late to make amends or live your life in discontent. Yes, that was a Cold Front reference. I know what the last picture Mike ever took was. It was a bird on a barrel by the Bronx River Trail, which is very apropos for Mike. Though I don't know what he was thinking during his last moments. But I don't think he felt that there was a lot in his life that was left unresolved, with people at least, as opposed to all the pieces of our cassette compilation for Memory Loss Records that he was literally working on the day he died. He was sending me 3 cover art options for the streaming, which shout out to Gary and John Franco for saving the streaming. Mike died as he lived. He was riding his bike. He was listening to the Gravediggers, we think, for Spotify. Wearing his non-residence F Ice shirt, which had to get cut off of him, and I now have hanging in our living room like his flag.
Ow!
And saying he would be home in time to make coffee before we went to the recently reopened Italia and to go see Dan at the studio. Before this, Mike did have the occasional brush with death, was my favorite being when he was hit by a car, quote, just a little bit while I was in a job interview in 2019. And when we were about to gather in honor of his grandmother's birthday, of course, at Outback. This group has had enough other sudden losses of both family and friends that I think we already did live like nothing can be taken for granted. Last year when I was making these multi-show hardcore flyers, because there was so much happening, you couldn't just make one flyer. I had to have, some of you have these where it's 10 shows on a flyer. The theme for one of them was, it's a wonderful time, I hope you know that, from the Cargo Cult song, All Power to All People, which shout out Alaska, who's somewhere here today. I try not to take for granted what was happening in terms of shows and events due to the ephemeral nature of bands and venues, but it turned out it extended to people too. And that on all those impossibly good days that we had in 2024 and 2025, especially when we had no idea it was around the corner, I think we did our best to both document and enjoy everything as it was happening. That was one of the reasons we finally decided to do a compilation and a record label. The title of the comp, A Good Problem to Have, was inspired by 2 Westchester shows on the same day, on March 8th, 2025, aka a few hours after Mike flew back from performing in Tampa, which is why we went to see Holly and Johnny at the Corner Pocket rather than Distance Kept in Peekskill, right? I think? Yeah, that was the 2 shows, but we went with the one that was 3 miles from our house and disappeared from Tampa. Which, shout out to Trainwreck and Terror Out. That was an incredible trip. I was so overjoyed getting the updates from you all being on that trip and all the zany things that happened. I'm glad he didn't tell me about the bomb threat until after. It was unrelated to Human Trainwreck. And while I joked about not wanting to do a record label for 20 years, I don't know how many of you know, I helped my ex take over a record label in 2005, and it was a mess, and I had to go to the post office and sort out the Think I Care 10-inch pre-orders. I'm glad we finally did it. So if you listen to the comp or if you look at the cover art, just know that it was his last creative project and our last collaboration. I also realized that memory and memorial are the same root words, so thank you all for being here today and remembering. I'm sorry, I still have like 2 pages left.
Stop apologizing.
I'm always apologizing.
Make it 4.
This event has been such a surreal echo of our wedding, with people converging on Westchester from all over to celebrate him and be together. Mike was so good at bringing different groups of people together, which I know this has come up in a number of the speeches, and he would want everyone here today to get to meet and connect and talk about baseball or hardcore or rap or Cats or Twin Peaks or what we do in the shadows or the moon, or just exclaim over Matt's food or our seltzer flavors. Yeah. So we have just over an hour left. That was true when I was originally writing this. I'm gonna just roam around. But I hope it results in some conversations and connections in the remaining time. And in everyone getting to see each other more often, which that would be helping each other, but also helping me, just imagining you all being together. And again, I just hope this brings everybody together. And Mike and I spent a lot of time together, but we also spent a lot of time apart. So sometimes it's easy to forget as I'm sitting on the couch working, and he's not going to pop out of Scout Field and confirm my Thai food order, or he's not going to confirm they're wrapping up band practice and he in fact getting in the truck and heading home from Astoria. That he's not out recording or traveling somewhere to play a show, aka usually the only times I got to play his office, so thank you everyone for taking him out somewhere so I got to clean. Or that he's not on a bike ride that he is coming back from, aka I'm not about to get a G-chat saying you accidentally rode all the way to the Kensico Dam. So, you may or may not know the Mickey's Crew song One Loss, which references the concept of bringing someone back for just one more day. What would Mike have done differently if we knew he only had one day left? He probably would have still gone for that bike ride. He probably would have eaten extra Thai food, and we did accidentally get extra appetizers the night before, which I'm glad about. Or maybe a burger, because apparently he died on National Burger Day. Yeah. He loved the burgers from here so much. He probably would have gone to Carvel, though, if he knew he had the chance. We didn't make it to Carvel yet this year, I don't think. We almost made it with Elio and Jenna, and then we decided not to go. Or maybe got a humongous black iced coffee. I used to say iced coffee the size of my torso. From the Bronx River Road Dunkin', which is probably one of the many places I was like, what happened to that guy? I did have to tell one of our favorite restaurants, though, because they put me on the spot and asked me. They said, hey, Mount Vernon, wait, one of you is missing. And I said, yeah, it's my husband, he died. Shout out to Gary and Tara who were here with me for that one. And poor Dan, because you have to deal with them as your semi-neighbors. One of the many things I've been adapting to is doing all the laundry myself. Despite Mike versus laundry, he actually did most of our laundry and I just had to fold it. So one day I'm doing laundry at like 7 a.m. because I stopped sleeping. And I realized I wasn't going to be done in time to start working at 9. So I was like, what can I do to quickly do hands-free while I finish up? Which, sorry, my boss is here, so I have to say that. And so I started listening to this work-related podcast that was actually an interview with the author of a novel about a prospect researcher, which I haven't actually read yet. But the episode ended up being unexpectedly relevant to this, too, as they were talking about loneliness and legacy, trauma and growth. I think the exact quote was, you have to live today. The legacy is built of 1,000 little decisions you make right now. And those little decisions that Mike made every day, along with being hilarious and spontaneous and randomly knowledgeable, and obviously the most handsome man in Westchester.
So handsome.
And I was going to say, you can see evidence on the photo collage, and many other reasons of why we all loved him so much. So, We didn't make silver medal stickers, but that's a joke for another day. Sorry. At least you weren't drinking a beverage this time. Yeah. In the novel Vera or Faith by Gary Steingart, the young protagonist Vera references happiness and sadness always forming a pretzel, which is similar to a quote in The History of Love by Nicole Krauss about getting happier and sadder every day. I think that was more relevant to like mid-2010s me. I'm not sure if the happier part is still relevant now, but I hope it's true as we're remembering Mike, how he'd want us to be living every day, and then when he'd say, "How you living?" we'd have a good answer. Thanks.
Woo!
I'm used to filling space if I need to. next Saturday, somewhere in the Bronx, I already forgot where. What's the lineup for 718 Day? I was gonna say how many times in my life have I jumped on the mic and started talking about upcoming shows. But I know I did it at the Sawmill when I was shouting at the Uptown Rumble exhibit, I think. Which shout out Steven who's here somewhere. But yeah, I can talk. Y'all watch out if we need to fill space.
We love you.
That's Becky.
So many friends and family from all over being here today. Again, Matt for hosting us, especially the day we've got World Cup games coming, etc. Again, I can just keep talking if we need to while we find the item we're looking for. Yeah. Okay, excellent. Yeah, Allison's got it under control. Excellent.
I think so. It's coming. It's coming.
Surprise. You all know I'm terrible at keeping secrets too. I also almost accidentally referenced this in my speech. And I was like, yeah, which I was like, our Gary and Allison being our CC Sabathia and Andy Pettit helping us with the. Where's Matt also? Yeah, we also, yes, we're going to need.
I think.
No, we're going to need Matt though too. Yeah, we're going to need Gary, Allison, and Matt to the corner. So. How do you guys like the seltzer flavors today?
Delicious, Becky. Wait, but where's Matt? Matt went that way? No, Matt went that way.
There he is. Come up here.
You did amazing. So good. It was precious.
All right, so Matt, once again, we want to thank you for everything you've done to set and host us. We got something special for you. We got a special gift from Matt. We made a set of baseball cards that's going to be exclusive to this memorial today. Allison's going to handing them out after we're done with the speeches here. But we made one card that was special. And we're going to give this to Matt, and he can find a place for it here in the restaurant. Since Mike is gone, he's obviously not going to be here hanging out for hours taking up a table. But Mike is always going to be here at Pizzeria La Rosa. And thank you, Matt.
There's this three-person booth. I don't know if some of you know Rich McLaughlin. Mike and Rich and I used to come here all the time and see Matt. And now it's so surreal to me all the places that I would go with Mike and Rich, and I'm the only one left. So I think that's where this original idea came from. Wanted to get something with a picture of one of the two of them and put it in the three-person booth, so it doesn't have to be there. And then these guys came up with this incredible idea, which is even so much fun.
We all got you, Becky. I'll come every day with you if you need to. Woo! Yeah!
So we're not sure. We think that picture might have been taken the first day he tried the moose here. He loved the moose. It was also the day that Scotty died. It was a very surreal day. We were here, and it was the day I think that we launched like the campaign for the comp and Memory Loss Records. It was the first of the 22 posts for the Sawmill Show on March 22nd.
So now you guys can all come back and see my.
Yeah.
Nice.
And by the way, Mike talked about that moose a lot.
Shout out Gabby. Is Gabby here? Oh, okay, cool. Shout out Gabby either way.
That concludes the speaking portion of this event. So thank you guys again. Thanks to everybody for coming out today. And Allison will take care of the baseball cards, and then you guys can hang out.